Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Everyday Growth Advisors live stream. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I wish you a great week ahead as well. It's been a pretty eventful week, and I think that we have a lot of things to cover today, so I hope that we can get it done. If this is your first time here, give me a shout out. I love the fact that you guys come back and have a lot to offer over here. So let's get it started. I'm going to concentrate today on the fundamental analysis on Boeing. We have quite a few things to cover, but we're going to do a quick news breakdown and then the SPY technical breakdown. And then, as usual, we'll go through our entire schedule of things, right? I don't think we'll get a lot of time to do tickers today, but I will definitely try my best to do as many of them as possible. So keep them coming, and I'll do the ones from the top all the way to the bottom as much as I can. And I hope that you guys enjoy the stream, honestly. I've put in some time into this, and so the information here is pretty condensed. I'll show you what I found. The beauty of coming to the streams is that, I do the legwork for you. I condense the information down so that you don't have to. You can sit back, relax, enjoy, and just have me do the talking and the walking. All right, so let's look at it real quick. See what's going on here with the news. Got my little thingamajig for the drawings. All right, I feel like blue today. I think I'm feeling blue. All right, let's have a look. So, despair, confusion, grip Hong Kong after China shock. Interesting. The last Monday that we did the stream, I did say that we were looking bearish, and then the market kind of ripped for a day or something. This is what happened, right? And then we came back and we're down here again. We continue on this kind of kangaroo-ish market. I say we're still in a downtrend, but we'll get to this in a second. Let's see what the news is telling us, right? When we know what the news is telling us, we can tell where the market sentiment's going to be, where the retail traders are going to be, and where majority of the you don't call it dumb money, but you definitely don't call it smart money is going to be. So India sets up fund to ease cash crunch, something about Malaysia, something US futures drop as new quarter starts. That's right. Today is the start of a new quarter. Remember, we're going to have a new earnings season. The old earnings season is done, so now companies are going to start reporting again. We have all the top companies that we're reporting again, and so we'll see what happens. Bloomberg's not reporting anything it's very general economic news here. Let's see the Wall Street Journal. Let's look at it for the markets. And the U.S. stock futures slipped after S&P 500 best quarter in over 20 years, which is interesting. Movie theaters got a painful extended intermission. Interesting. Huh. Oh yeah, I mean, they can't open, right? So that's one thing. Specialty lenders face funding challenge. Okay. Chinese I think also the Fed announced a Main Street option now. So they have some kind of a funding facility for businesses, SMEs, like small medium enterprises. So that's also on the table today. That's something you got to keep track of as well. See what's the development with that. The market could easily rally on that. Chinese oil futures draw more international interest. Okay. Uber in talks to buy Postmates for about 2.6 billion. That should be interesting for Uber's acquisition. They're trying to consolidate that industry. They continue to consolidate that industry with, what is it now, 2 very big purchases, right? I think there was talks about Grubhub, and now it's Postmates. So they're trying to definitely consolidate the industry and be the one supreme leader. Mnuchin and Powell pledge additional relief to prevent lasting damage to economy. I think there is a new HEROES Act that the Congress is deciding if they want to pass. I think Congress passed, and now it's maybe the Senate or something. I was reading something along those lines. Some additional funding, what do you call a stimulus package, and kind of a fiscal package as well. So should be interesting. Yeah, there you go. In May, they passed the 3.5 trillion bill, and now they're thinking about another one. Okay. So market seems in the middle today. I can't get a finger on it personally. It's not really here or there. Seems to me like it's it's in the middle. Okay. Welcome into the stream, guys. Good morning. Appreciate you guys being here. Remember that I only ask for one thing when you come to the stream. It's to smash the like button. Just smash it so that we can get it on. All right. Ooh, I see a lot of tickers. You guys, ooh, geez. All right then. Well, welcome into the stream. If this is your first time, make sure you hit subscribe. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today is Fundamental Wednesday. We're going to go through the fundamental analysis of Boeing. Okay. And we will be doing, a lot of legwork. So I hope that you guys enjoy the stream. Okay. Let's go through, let's see, the pre-market movers. I don't think there's going to be much here as usual, but we'll see. Maybe we'll be surprised. Okay. Biopharm, ignore. Ritter. Okay. Not really that many. Nothing interesting. GE seeing some selling. Microsoft seeing some selling. This is just kind of overall market pressure. Not really anything crazy. CCL, a little bit of selling there. Microsoft, once again. Facebook also. Nasdaq seeing Tesla and Facebook. Okay, cool. Got it. Today we have non-farm payroll numbers that came out in the morning at 8:15, about 15 minutes ago, and now the market is rallying back up. Right, we can see it right here. So let's have a look here. Non-farm payroll numbers were a little worse than expected. Non-farm employment change, yeah. So lesser people are employed from the non-farm ADP. We'll have a Cushing storage report. This will be for oil, impacting oil. Remember, Cushing is where all the oil deliveries are taken in Seawall. So this will impact oil. 9:30. That's going to be about an hour from now. The rest of the news doesn't seem very heavy hitting, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's look at the SPY technical update, and we will go through it right now. All right. Let's get it. So with the SPY technical update, we have been on this journey for a while now, right? We've been literally going zang. Now, it's kind of a wedge in some way, right? Oops. That was really bad drawing. Let's see if we can actually form this wedge, right? I want to say that we are forming a wedge here. But, kind of like impulsive corrective, impulsive corrective, impulsive corrective, impulsive corrective, impulsive corrective. And I feel like now it's going to shift. I feel like the impulsive wave is going to start, being the downside, and then the corrective on the upside. We're definitely not going to be able to predict where this goes, but we've been ranging between the 50 fib and the 23.6. Well, actually, 3150 is the level which we've been ranging between. It's kind of like the 50 fib and the 3150 level. So if you want to know what levels those are in SPY, that's basically SPY at 300 and 315, right? We're ranging between those two levels, and the market definitely hasn't picked a direction yet. This is absolutely terrible for people who are playing options contracts, because we know that as the market goes sideways and doesn't pick a direction, your contract's losing theta every day. Especially if you have short-term contracts and you're betting on heavy on one side or the other. This is something that I caution the members on the mentorship program not to do. Right. By the way, remember that this Saturday another wave of the mentorship program will be open. We have sold out 2 waves of the mentorship program already. The first wave had 45 members, and the second wave had about, actually it was 70, but yeah, we sold out both times. So I hope that you will consider joining the mentorship program if you feel like you need, an added layer. If you want to see testimonials, I post them on my Instagram, and they're all here for you to see in the option swing Discord. A lot of nice things that people have to say, and I'm truly humbled by these people who have taken the mentorship course and have seen really great results. In fact, today we just got one like a couple of minutes back. If you're interested in capital preservation and hedging your risk as a new trader investor, the mentorship course is a must. Otherwise, you might as well gamble. Besides having fun, learning, and consolidating tons of information, Neutral Tyrant makes sure you have your head on straight by teaching the psychology of traders and institutions alike. After 2 days, I feel myself changing from gazelle into lion. I love this. This is so great. I'm gonna go ahead and give that like a fire emoji right there. Gotta give this one a heart emoji right there. So registration will open this Saturday. If you're interested, just thought I should put it out there. I'm gonna be also posting it on Instagram probably sometime today or tomorrow. So make sure that you check that out. And if you're interested, join in on Saturday. We do a lot of fun things on the mentorship program, and it's a very structured program that will assist you to become a better trader. Okay. All right. So I want to take this moment to go as a segue into our program for the day. Remember that now every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have a different kind of a program. And remember that being here, I wish that you would just smash the like button so that we could get on with the Boeing fundamental analysis. All right. Okay, so let me see if there are some questions here that I need to answer first. Morning. How are you guys doing? Welcome in. I see a lot of tickers. Boeing seems dying. Took 38% of my portfolio. Ouch. I'm sorry about that, man. Will you cover going over a watch list? Sure, I can cover going. Are you talking about the option syncs watch list, Sri? Be a bit specific, and then if you want, I could go over how to use the watch list if you want. Really enjoyed the stream. It's my favorite. Thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate you very much. I love the stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Where are we in the business cycle? What sector should we be looking at for a long-term portfolio? I'll come back to this after I do the Boeing fundamental analysis. Stop what you're doing and smash the like button. Yes, please. Thank you. How do you know whether impulsive or corrective? Well, on an uptrend, this is an impulsive wave. This is a corrective wave. This is an impulsive wave. This is a corrective wave, right? And so it goes. It could switch around and be an impulsive wave down and a corrective wave up as well when it's a switch of a downtrend, right? So when it starts to switch around, this becomes the impulsive, corrective, impulsive, but then this went higher, so this becomes a new impulsive wave. So let's see what happens here. It could easily go up or down. Market's really in the center here. I'm really holding cash here. I'm not making any plays at all. The only play that I took yesterday was a NVIDIA put day trade, and I had a stop loss set on it, and when I went to sleep, it closed out for profit. So I just decided I'll let it go, and that's it. Okay. Today I sit cash again. So every day is a new cash day, and yeah. So far, I haven't made any big purchases. I'm just staying with the cash position. Okay, how do we know what? Okay, sanitizer used before smashing. Can't wait time start mentorship program. During it, can we ask questions? Are we able to contact you while in the course? I mean, in case we need clarification. Yes, absolutely. We have an entire chat dedicated to it. So there's an EGA course chat, which you will gain access to, along with the entire option swing platform for a week if you're a non-option swing member. And people ask questions here all the time, and I answer to them every single day. You can see, like for example, they ask me questions about hedging, and I answered them all over here, right? When to buy a hedge, how much your portfolio should you hedge? I buy weekly hedges. Why? How to know what to hedge with, right? So I answer all the questions in the Discord. Okay, could you go over the watch list? Are you talking about the option swing watch list? Okay. There's dedicated Discord channel. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, option swing, just like basics, what to look for, etc. I've been learning a lot through you and the course, but nice to see it live. Absolutely. Okay, I will do a little explanation on the watch list at the end, if you guys want, since there's so many people here who want it. I'll go ahead and do that for you guys as a special something. Um, but let me get through the Boeing fundamental analysis first. We have some time to do that. I'm gonna try and get it done so that we can get on with the rest of the program. Okay, so the order of the agenda today will be, let's do the Boeing fundamental analysis, get that done, out of the way, give you my thoughts on that, which I'm not really going to pick a side. I'm going to tell you what I found, and you can make the decision for yourself. Second of all, we'll go through how to use the watch list, and then third, we will do the ticker breakdowns. All right. So with Boeing and with any fundamental analysis that you want to do, remember, there are these key metrics that you're looking for. Okay, number one, does the company have increasing revenues? That's the first question you ask yourself. The company has to have increasing revenues. Okay, number two, does the company have stable ROE? Okay, that's the second one. The third, does the company have increasing operational cash flows? Now, increasing revenues, you guys know what this is. This simply means increasing sales, right? Stable ROE, what's ROE? Return on equity, which means to say how much of money does the company return to shareholders, okay? How much does it return to shareholders over time? This is calculated by the ROE. I wish I wish this pen would work a bit faster. Maybe I need to change the battery. I think the battery's dying, guys. Help me out. Okay, increasing operational cash flows. What does that mean? That means how much cash is the company generating from operations, okay? Cash from operations, which means how much cash is generating from the actual business running, okay? Next, the management style. What is management doing? If the company is going through a crisis, how is management managing the crisis, right? If the company is going through a good time, how does company reward shareholders for holding the stock? This is a rather important one that people often skip. And personally, I think that management style is a very important component of fundamental analysis, right? I'm not kidding with you that we went through Tesla fundamental analysis on the previous EGA mentorship group, and we were looking at the 10K, and in the 10K it says one of the risks associated with the business is Tesla is heavily dependent on its CEO Elon Musk, and it's blatantly mentioned in the 10K that they are overly dependent on Elon Musk. So when you read something like that on the 10K and you do your FA, you realize that his image carries a big weight of the company, and that's the reason why the company can end up being so volatile. Okay. Now, that was the fourth thing. The fifth thing is the economic moat. What is the economic moat? This is exactly like a castle moat, right? Where you have a castle, and around the castle you have a water, kind of a river, right? And then the castle has a drawbridge to get to the other side. Well, what prevents other companies from coming into your castle and taking your business? That is what we refer to as an economic moat. What is your competitive advantage? Okay, what kind of an advantage do you have that competitors can't get to you if they want to? Competitive advantage. Okay, and then conservative debt. This is pretty self-explanatory. The last one, which means how much debt does the company have on the balance sheet? Is it too much debt? Is it good debt? Is it bad debt? Remember, companies like Apple that have billions of dollars in cash flow, they still have debt. Why? Because they can't afford to raise debt at that level, right? It doesn't mean that a company has no debt means it's a good company, okay? Having healthy levels of debt that are raised in a responsible manner that cost the company less in the long run are far better than having an enormous amount of debt that, it's not sustainable. Okay, so there are a couple of companies like that, and we're gonna do all these breakdowns. I'm gonna go through them really quickly to kind of explain everything. Okay, give me some feedback if you guys like the stream so far and how you feel about it. If you like what I'm going through here, you find it educational, you find it interesting, and you want more of these kinds of streams, feel free to drop a couple of fire emojis, right? And also, feel free to like the stream, because I'll be doing more of these every Wednesday. And I hope that you guys like it, okay? Because I'm going a new direction with this, and I don't see anybody else doing this on YouTube. I want to provide something of value for the community, and I think that this may be some value that I can provide to you guys, okay? All right, awesome. So we're going to go through all of them right now. Increasing revenues, right? Now, the first thing I want to do before getting into the fundamentals, like the real stuff that I just went through, I want to highlight a couple of things that I found, right? And this is all going to relate to you in various different ways, right? The first thing is I usually pull up the 10K and the 10Q. This is the 10Q of Boeing in the past quarter. Okay, this is the earnings report. Basically, what happened to Boeing. Now, I think yesterday there was a report that said Boeing kept FAA in the dark on MAX design changes. New report says so. They failed to submit certification documents to the FAA, and that describing changes to the fault system that was faulted in the two blah blah blah, right? The flight control system was not an area of emphasis because Boeing presented it to FAA as a modification of the jet's existing speed trim system with limited range use, blah blah blah. Okay, so basically they kind of hit something on the report, and I think the company's taking some flack. Okay, at this point I'm quite convinced that whatever hits Boeing is, it's kind of like a ridiculous thing at this moment, right? There was also news that Norwegian Air cancels purchases of Boeing planes. So all the bad news coming out at the same time kind of makes me want to buy the stock more. Okay. There's also the report from Morningstar that I pulled up. I have access to this because I have Robinhood Gold. If you have Robinhood Gold, remember you have access to these reports. You can read all these reports on Robinhood Gold for absolutely free. They provide them as part of your Robinhood Gold. I pay literally $5 a month to get this, right? Which is actually a good addition. Like, I don't use the leverage, but I pay $5 a month to get the reports because it's a smart thing to do. I just turn the leverage off, right? I don't use the gold, like the gold leverage. It doesn't make sense for me because I don't need it, right? You can get what the bulls say, what the bears say, the analyst breakdowns. And after reading this, you'll realize that, the analysts are fairly bullish on Boeing with a fair value estimate of $281 as of 28 April 2020. Now, this is just a Morningstar analyst. And obviously, with the 281 fair value estimate, this is what they're saying that Boeing's intrinsic value should be. Okay, this is the intrinsic valuation. Now, what is the intrinsic valuation? This is simply basing Boeing's cash flows, or its cash flows taken into the future, right? Let's say Boeing has cash flows, right? And you take this into the future for 10 years. Now, what you want to do is every year there will be a growth of cash flows, right? The money that the company generates, and there will be a growth rate, right? At the end of 10 years, you can forecast what is the growth rate from now till 10 years, okay? And if you forecast it, you'll come to a terminal value, okay? And you can discount this terminal value by something we call the weighted average cost of capital, the WACC, which is actually the cost of the business. You can just say, in layman's terms, this is the cost of the business, or the cost of revenues, or the cost of operations, okay? And once you find this number out, you can discount the end value, which is what we call the terminal value, with all the cash flows added to it, right? And you get something called the PV, which is the present value. So you're interested in the value of Boeing now, but you can use the forecast of 10 years based on the growth rate, which is an assumption, and the cost of business, which is another assumption, right? And if your assumptions are good, then you will get the present value, which you will get a enterprise value, we call it EV, right? And you can divide this by the number of shares to get the intrinsic value. Okay, I know it's very confusing, but just think about it as you take the cash flows forecasted into the future, discounted to the present by the cost of the business over those 10 years, and then you get a value and divide it by the number of shares, and that's basically what the business is worth right now based on its future cash flows. Okay, so I hope that you find that somewhat engaging. Okay, make sure you guys hit the like button if you're here. If you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I hope that you like it here. Okay, this is a educational stream, unlike other streams that are aiming to give you tickers and call outs. I concentrate on education. That's what the EGA was built for, and that's what we do. Okay. All right. Get my charger in real quick. All right, there we go. All right. So now, with the report that I read over here, the analysts seem fairly bullish. If you want like a snapshot, you can read this right here. What the bulls say, right? Boeing has a large backlog, and how much is the backlog? The backlog's here. They have a backlog of 439 billion, including 5,000 commercial airplanes, right? That's a bullish piece of something to consider, right? Boeing is well positioned to benefit from emerging market growth in revenue passenger kilometers. So in the airline industry, they measure growth and they measure revenue per passenger kilometer. Remember, every company measures revenue in a different manner, right? And a robust developed market replacement cycle over the next 2 decades. So planes, they get heavily depreciated and they need to be replaced very quickly. So Boeing is strategically positioned to take advantage of that, right? We expect the commercial airframe manufacturing will remain a duopoly. Duopoly means 2 people rule it. Who is the other company? Airbus, right? Over the foreseeable future. We think customers will not have many options other than continuing to rely on incumbent aircraft suppliers. So this is what the bulls would say about Boeing. And what the bears would say would be that the 737 MAX remains grounded for the moment, which will be an overhang on the stock until its airworthiness directive is issued by the FAA, which they're having problems with, right? They're having issues with the FAA right now, right? We can see it in the news, right? And then it could take years for airlines to recover from the economic carnage caused by COVID-19. And the virus could lead to changed consumer behavior that would be unfavorable for the airline industry. For example, video conferences would replace business travel. See, in the past, you have to think of it this way as well. People would have traveled for business, for conferences and stuff like that. But now, majority of these things are kind of been taken online. And I'm pretty sure that after this is over, some businesses will remain online because they realize that it's a really great cost saving. Okay, so this is what this point is saying over here. Okay, there is a real threat to this economy. Okay, this airline economy. Aircraft development is notoriously susceptible to development delays and cost overruns. Although Boeing has historically managed these pitfalls, it is possible that Boeing will face these in the future. Okay, so that's what the bears say. All right, I'm not going to go through the whole report because it doesn't make sense. This report summary is essentially saying that there are some risks with the 737 MAX grounding, but traditionally they value the business based on a future cash flow and a forward earnings of about 17.5 times of 2021 earnings multiple, which means 17.5 times of the earnings of next year. And that gives them a fair value estimate of $281 a share. Okay. Obviously, I haven't done my own FA yet. I mean, I haven't done my own intrinsic valuation calculation, but I will, and I'll share it with you guys. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Now, you also have to realize, so let's look at the fundamentals a little bit, right? What are they actually saying and this and that? Because, we need to see what they're saying. Okay. So we have, I like to go to Morningstar because it kind of puts everything in one place and it's just easier to look at, right? So if we look at Boeing on an annual basis, you can see that the past 3 years have been great years for it, right? Now let's go back to the image here. Increasing revenues. Are revenues increasing? Absolutely, right? But if you go to the quarterly, then you start to see that revenues have been a little stagnant. Like it's been erratic, right? One quarter yes, one quarter no, one quarter yes, kind of thing, right? And so we have to be extremely careful with these kinds of things, right? Give me a second here. Okay, sorry, I gotta get my charger into the computer. Okay, next thing, right? Stable ROE. Let's look at ROE over here. So the return on equity is about 21%, which is damn bloody good in my opinion. Anything between 20 to 30% is actually pretty good for a company like Boeing, who's a market leader, monopoly, right? Well, duopoly, but you get what I'm saying. A 20 to 30% ROE is a pretty good level. Okay, and personally, I think that a stable ROE is really important, especially for shareholders. Okay. Increasing operational cash flow. So let's go to the cash flow statement here. We need to see if under operations we are seeing increased cash flows year over year. And you can see net for operating activities. So you have lots of activities within the company, and you can see cash flow from operating activities, and you can bring that up. And we'll look at this annually. So that's less confusing. You can see that over the past 3 years, cash flows from operations are looking, yes, they are increasing, right? They're definitely increasing. Now, obviously, this is 2019, and we haven't seen the 2020 financials, but this is basing on how the company performed last year, okay? This year is going to create a big hit for this, but we don't know how big of a hit. What we do know, I'll show you in a little bit, okay? I'll show you what I do know at the end of it, but let me go through what we know first, and then we can put in everything else that we don't know, okay? So, all right. Next, management style, right? One thing that I was reading that was important here about management style, here. This is what the Boeing president and CEO said. The COVID-19 pandemic is affecting every aspect of our business, including airline customer demand, production continuity, and supply chain. Our primary focus is the health and safety of our people and communities while we take tough but necessary action to navigate this unprecedented health crisis and adapt for a changed marketplace. And also, Boeing has taken action to manage their near-term liquidity, as it has drawn a term loan facility, reduced operating costs and discretionary spending, extended the existing pause on share repurchases. This is all very great things to hear. And suspended dividends until further notice, reduced or deferred research and development and CapEx, which is capital expenditures, and eliminated CEO and chairman pay for the year. Now, this is a very bold move, okay? And this is great for a company who is going through a crisis. It shows that management knows how to take action and adjust to the environment that it is in, right? They're raising debt, which is a term loan facility, right? They're reducing their operating costs, discretionary spending, right? They're also pausing share repurchases, which they should. They're suspending dividends, which they should. They're reducing, or deferring the R&D and CapEx, which they don't need. And all top management is taking a pay cut, right? This is from the earnings report that was recently renewed on April 29th. Okay, so this is like maybe about 2 months old. Okay, but this is the most recent communication that we have from Boeing to shareholders. Okay, so they're doing stuff that is important for the business in order to make it work. Okay. Now, what about the economic mode, right? This company, what about the economic mode? Well, I think that a total backlog of 439 billion versus Airbus backlog. Let's see. So I just want to find out in comparison, what is their backlog, right? Like, if the page would load, come on, Airbus. All right, the page not loading, guys. Just buy calls on Boeing. That's the play. Oh, I'm just kidding. All right. Backlog remained to be delivered as of 31st May. Stood at this. Okay. Now this Neo family planes. This is something that was mentioned on the report from Morningstar as it being a threat to Boeing. So let's see. They didn't say how much it is in dollar value. They just said that they have a backlog of 7,621 planes. Okay. Now, in terms of economic moat, you can know that Boeing obviously is in a duopoly with Airbus, and so in terms of economic moat, this company has been around for a much longer time. Oh man, I am completely looking at the wrong company on this Morningstar. Jeez, I'm so sorry, guys. Man. I even clicked on Boeing. I think it went back for some reason. Okay, let's just start over here. Okay, valuation, financials. There we go. All right. There we go. This looks much better. Okay. Oof. Okay, we need a double back here because I definitely clicked on the wrong link. I had it open, but for some reason it gave me the wrong numbers. My bad. All right, let's look at this again. Okay, revenues decreasing in some fashion, right? If you look at the income statement here, this is Boeing for sure now. Yeah, this is Boeing. Okay, 2017, 18, 19. So they have decreasing revenues. Let's see, operating expenses also going a little haywire there. Well, actually, they're controlling operating expenses pretty well, thinking about it. Okay, let's look at the ROE. So they don't have ROE, which means they're making a loss right now. So that's no good for Boeing if they're not returning equity to shareholders. Why? Because they're currently on pause, right? And then they have increasing operational cash flows. Let's see. Operational cash flows not looking good neither. I think that, yeah, I don't think it's looking good here. Let's see. So operating activities, yeah, definitely reducing here. 2019 saw a big dip in operating cash flow. So companies definitely not churning any profit from their operating activities. No good once again. And then management style was, we just went through economic mode. Let's look at the debt real quick and see how the financials are for debt. So let's look at the total debt. Well, we could look at the current ratio or the quick ratio. So this current ratio is going to be above 1. That's pretty decent. Quick ratio. Okay. Well, in terms of long-term debt, they're okay. In terms of short-term debt, they're drowning, right? So if the quick ratio is below 1, that's not good for the company in the short run. Current ratio more than 1, that's still, it's all right. It's just all right, right? What it means is that they have enough assets to service their liabilities, okay? The debt that they're accumulating is increasing. The total assets are also increasing, but not at the same pace. And I was reading something earlier that was saying that, there you go, Boeing raises monster 25 billion bond offering. This was on 30th of April, right? And apparently, they do not plan on seeking additional funding through U.S. capital markets or the U.S. government at this time, which means that the company has enough cash flows for the next year or so. That's what it usually means, okay? Also, on top of that, on May 27th, Boeing said that they're going to slash 12,000 jobs with further cuts to come. So this is management being prudent. and controlling their operating expenses, right? This is where they're hemorrhaging, and so they need to control the bleed. Okay. Okay. All in all, it's not looking very amazing for Boeing, right? It's looking pretty grim. If you look at what the company is going through in terms of debt and in terms of um, cash flows, in terms of income, revenues, right? Revenues are currently down negative. Uh, so this is kind of like not a really good style fundamental analysis, but I mean I could definitely do better. I wish I didn't look at Facebook's Facebook's numbers there. But look at this report, earnings report by Boeing, right? And just have a look at the fact that they have, been trying to control their expenses, and because this is the last communication we've had from them. You got to also realize that Boeing doesn't just sell planes. Okay, the one thing that I took away from this report was that Boeing's part of revenues are also defense, space, and security, which they have contracts for. Number one, and in case you guys don't know, the DOJ's budget this year increased by quite a substantial amount. Okay. And then the global services is what they make a lot of money from as well. Remember, these are in billions, so 4 billion to the tune of 4 billion. And those are not like, hit by a big margin. Okay. So apart from just their airplanes, they do have other sources of revenue. Okay. All in all, I do feel that Boeing is slightly undervalued from my perspective. I think that, a adequate valuation for this company right now would be about $200, but I would have to go and do a DCF calculation. So maybe in the next live stream, I'll go do my own research on the DCF and give it to you guys as a closing out of this ticker. Okay. But for now, let me get into a couple of tickers for you guys, because I know that's what you guys are here. So what are you here for? If you guys enjoyed the breakdown of fundamental analysis, I would love to hear if you did. Okay. Please go ahead and type something in the chat so I can read it. And if you're here for the first time, make sure you click subscribe and just like the stream, guys. I would really appreciate it if you could smash the like button. That's something that I would really be happy about. All right, good morning, good morning. Let's see, morning AAL's $14 call, 710. 710, that's next week. Yes. Looking bearish to me personally, but maybe, I don't know. It's looking interesting. Let's see. From what I see, this crossover makes me feel a little uncomfortable, but then at the same time, because this would signal a downtrend, and then if it kind of uses the moving averages as resistance, the stock can easily push down further for American Airlines, especially with the whole wave 2, right? You got to see the news, $14 by next week, I don't know. I personally, I wouldn't hold it. I would sell it. Good morning, Disney. August 15 calls. Another one that I don't really like that much. Disney's gonna stay closed for a while, guys. So I don't think calls are good in this scenario. I think I would remain bearish until some bullish developments come out. RTX. What is RTX? United Technologies. Okay. Oh no, wait a minute. Raytheon? Okay. Raytheon. Raytheon's a good one. This is an industrials company. 821.85 call. I think your strike's a bit too far. And it's also bearish. Well, actually, hold on. Let me see. What's going on here? Ooh, some bullishness. Oh, but then the end of the day sell off. Wow. A lot of action in this stock. I wonder what's going on. Yeah, maybe there's a recovery possible. I see a higher low and, kind of like an uptrend forming here. Volume's kind of all over the place though. You can see volume, it shows on the 10-minute, it shows that, volume came in, but then if you go into the 5-minute and the 1-minute, you'll see the actual picture. Oh yes, volume did come in, but it was also sold. So let's look at the 15 seconds. Yeah, this was actually a big sell at the end of the day yesterday. You can see the volume flowed out, and lots of volume was coming out of the stock. I don't know. It kind of looks like it wants to make a higher high over here, but it kind of is struggling because it has this level of support, which is now going to be a new resistance, right? The old support is going to be now new resistance, and if it gets rejected here, then expect the stock to go down further. So I say if it gets rejected, cut your position. That would be my thesis on that. All right, let's see. I'm going to answer some other questions here first. Let's see if we have non-tickers, and then... Okay, also I need to go over the watch list, so let me do that really quickly. I love the stream. Okay, let's see. Options watch list. How do you get most of your documents when reading up on a company? Well, you just search them up. If you're looking for the financial documents, just go investor relations and then type the company name, and then you'll get it. Simple as that. Morningstar is also a good one. Okay, let's go through the watch list on option swing, and because I have a lot of requests from you guys to do this, so I'm just gonna do it really quickly for all the people who are wanting to hear how it's done. Okay. First of all, the watch list is created by Will, Dan, and Warwick, who are our mods in option swing. And every day, my bad, they wake up extra early to provide a watch list for option swing members. If you guys haven't seen this before, it's basically a watch list of stocks that we keep track of on a daily basis, and we provide a basically supply and demand levels so that you don't have to do it. Okay, so for example, today's watch list has already been posted, right, as of 3 minutes ago. I'll give you a couple of them just so you can have a look at them and see what we have to offer in option swing. This is the kinds of stuff that you would be paying for if you came onto the platform. So let's say, for example, Boeing, right? We're talking about Boeing, so let's do Boeing. So the watch list says calls at 189 plus and puts at 184 minus. So let's go to Boeing. And first of all, I like to do it on the 15-minute just so I can see where things are. Okay. So what you would do, first of all, calls at 189 plus, right? So 189, we bring this down to 189. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna change this line to, let's say, blue. And then I'm gonna delete these ones away. Okay, so that you can see. Ignore the purple lines for now. And then puts at 184. Puts at 184. Okay, so it's gonna be, wait. It's at 184. Oh, that's above where it is. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's because Boeing is up pre-market. Okay. So the idea for the watch list is you now have two zones that which you should be keeping track of. Okay. This is a supply zone on the top. And this would be a demand zone. The idea is if it breaks above the supply zone, then, this would be a bullish play, right? And if it breaks below the demand zone, then this would be a bearish play. Okay. So why do we, and how do you use the watch list? The idea is, first of all, you need to have volume on the stock. Okay. What is considered volume? First of all, this is considered low volume, right? Medium volume would be up here, right? And high volume would be way up here, right? So you're looking at volume with regards to how much volume is the total buyers and sellers. Remember that this volume doesn't tell you it's bullish or bearish, but it just tells you what the color of the candlestick is above it. So don't get tricked by that. What you need to confirm that is to use OBV, which is the indicator that I have on here, right? The on-balance volume indicator. And when you use this together, then what you can do is determine whether the stock has volume outflow or inflow, right? Let's say, obviously, it's not. I turned the extended hours off, so you can see as of yesterday close, it showed that people sold Boeing stock. But did they really though? You need to look deeper and see what happened, right? Look at the end of the day. That was actually some selling, some buying, right? If you look on the 1 minute chart, it says that there was buying, but then actually there was selling as well, okay? But then the stock is still up after hours, right? Right now, pre-market, it's also up, okay? So if Boeing falls below 184 on good volume, okay, and the best time frame to look at it is usually the 5 minute or the 10 minute, because you don't want to get anxiety. And if you look on the 1 minute, what's going to happen is you're going to get false signals, because volume is very sensitive on the 1 minute. So stick with the 5 minute and the 10 minute, and you should get a clearer signal. Now, if Boeing breaches this level with good volume and momentum and pushes down, right, then you enter puts, right? And you usually take 1 to 2 strikes out. So if the watch list said 184, then you would go 182 or 181, or even if you're feeling frisky, okay? And you would day trade it, right? The watch list is for day trades. It's not for swing trades. Majority of the time, this is for a day trade, okay? You're getting in on the support and resistance levels. Now, the same thing for 189, all right? If it breaks above 189 with good volume, you take the calls and you take it 1 to 2 strikes out. The expiry is generally, we generally advise you to take the next week expiry so that you have a good amount of theta left over in case something goes wrong, right? But if you are feeling frisky and you want the high risk, high reward play, then take a weekly contract. But only take weekly contracts up till Wednesday, which is today. After today, you should only be buying next week contracts, okay? Because the theta drain on Thursday and Friday is extremely high, okay? So absolutely don't play weekly contracts on Thursday and Friday. That's my general idea, okay? And this is what I go through in the mentorship course majority of the time as well, okay? So this is the general idea of the watch list, and I hope that was helpful, okay? All right. Cool. If that was helpful, let me know. All right. Geez, there were all the tickers and I've barely got through them. I'm sorry, guys. It's just on this stream, it's been jam-packed. So it's going to get a little more tougher for me to cover these from time to time. I'm going to try my best to cover as many as I can for the next 2 minutes. We'll go in order here. Baba, 82-235 call. 82-235. Your strike's a bit too high, buddy. 82. I know it's far away. It's a month away, though. I don't think you're going to go to 235 that fast, but then you never know, actually. You never know. 235 is like way up there. I mean, I do like the idea of holding the contract for a little while and letting it rebound, but I think your strike's too far. Square calls 125 expiring September. That should be fine, I guess. Amazon strike 2800 expiry 1112. Absolutely fine, that one. If you can afford it, keep it. Baidu 120 call 710. Didn't look at Baidu for a while. Let's have a look. You said 120 call 710. Yeah, absolutely keep it, right? Oh, actually, hold on. Nope, just kidding. Well, it's making lower highs and kind of lower lows here. It's kind of in a downward channel if you look at it. I would cut it out if you can for the time being at a small loss if you can. That's what I would do. Spotify super overbought at this point. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you're here. I really hope we can get to 100 likes today. That would be really nice. And make sure you subscribe if you're here for the first time. Let's see, Spotify 262.71. Spotify 262.71. 71? Dude, that's today. Dude. No, absolutely not. Baba 724. I just did Baba. Disney 105 put. Yep, I agree with puts on Disney. I think it's a good one to hold puts on. Roku 119 calls 710. Roku 119 calls 710. 119 calls. You know, I do like this setup, but I'm a little apprehensive with Roku because Roku has brokued me a couple of times, and personally, I'm kind of like, I'm just bitter about the stock. But I really like the setup. I think that it's bound for like a, you know, a kind of an upward movement. Let's see what happens. Morning FB 235 call 717. 235 call 717. 717 235 seems about right. I would hold it. There was some golden flow on Facebook like 2 days ago, which I took and then I sold, which made a pretty profit. Let's see what other questions we have over here. Okay. Let's see this. Boeing up $4. Great, you're doing a good job. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, man. Awesome. Thanks. I love more FA overall. Gotcha. Alrighty. Awesome teaching. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. BA up $4 since you started talking. Boom. Oh man. The Morningstar page. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I was doing the wrong ticker. My bad, but I fixed it. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Appreciate you breaking it down for us. No problem. Appreciate you being here. Options watch list. Okay, we did the watch list already. How do you get them? Okay, I got this already. What's the difference between debit and credit spreads? That's a bit of a loaded question for me to answer for this stream. Hold that thought and come into the next stream and post it there. I'll try to answer that question in the next stream. Please could you do FedEx? Unfortunately, I'm sorry. There were so many up there that I haven't got to. It would be unfair for me to do FedEx. Is it okay to use the volume MA to determine if volume is high enough to enter? Or is it better to look for tall bars? Well, you have to kind of use both at the same time. On balance volume and regular volume. Because if you just use volume bars, remember, this tells you only the total number of buyers and sellers. And in order to get the right information, you should use on balance volume with it so that you can tell that, look, it went from -4 to -2.5%, right? For example. That gives you a good idea of momentum and volume coming back into the stock. 2 minute tickers idea. Do ticker Tuesdays and ticker Thursdays, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday stay the same. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that might be a good idea. I'll take that into consideration, Sir Marcus. I like the suggestion. Thank you. All right. Would you recommend to add BA to your personal portfolio? I would. I personally would. I mean, I think that buying shares of this stock at this level are still fairly cheap compared to where it was and where it will be in the future. As long as it can recover out of this, I think that holding leaps for this company is a great plan. Okay, I try to cover as much as I could. I'm sorry if I let you down by not covering your ticker. As I told you guys, these are going to get increasingly more difficult to do. But I super appreciate you guys being here. I wanted to make sure that I get the important questions done. So thank you guys for attending the stream today. It's 2 minutes till the market opens, and I want to make sure that I manage my position. So I'm going to see you guys on Friday, where we'll do a recap of Boeing and see how it performed. So with that, I leave you guys, and I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, donate to the channel if you want. There's a way to donate. You can click on the super chat, super sticker, and I'll see you on Friday. Have a good one.